If you've ever wondered why your horse spooked at nothing, or why they refuse a jump they've cleared 100 times before, the answer is in their eyes. Horses have the largest eyes of any land mammal. Each eye weighs about the same as a baseball. But size isn't everything. The real story is how they see. Horses evolved as prey animals. For 55 million years, their survival depended on detecting predators before becoming lunch, and that evolutionary pressure created a visual system that's radically different from ours. Your horse can see things you can't. But here's the crazy part. They're also missing massive blind spots that could get you killed. In this video, I'll show you what I discovered, and it will completely change how you ride. Because the most dangerous thing isn't what your horse sees, it's what they don't see. And here's what most riders don't understand. Your horse literally cannot see you in certain positions. While humans see about 180 degrees in front of us, horses see 340 degrees around their entire body. They can see almost everything around them without moving their head. But, and this is critical, they have two major blind spots. One directly in front of their face, about 4 feet out, and one directly behind them. This is also the reason why you should never approach a horse from directly behind. They can't see you, and their instinct tells them to kick first and ask questions later. Alright, let's dive into the actual anatomy, because understanding the hardware explains the software. A horse's eye is roughly 5 centimeters wide and 6.5 centimeters deep. For comparison, that's about 50% larger than a human eye. But here's what's wild. Despite having these massive eyes, the actual brain area dedicated to processing vision is relatively small. In humans, almost a third of our brain is dedicated to vision. In horses, it's a much smaller percentage. Now the magic happens in the retina. That's the layer at the back of the eye that captures light and turns it into electrical signals. The horse's retina contains about 210 million photoreceptor cells. These come in two types, rods and cones. Rods detect motion and work in low light. Cones detect color and fine detail. And here's the key. Horses have a much higher ratio of rods to cones than we do. This means they're much better at seeing in low light and detecting motion, but worse at seeing fine detail and color. In fact, the average horse has visual acuity of about 20-30. That means what they see clearly at 20 feet, we can see clearly at 30 feet. So your horse's world is slightly blurrier than yours, like you're looking through a very light fog. Now this varies by age and breed. Older horses tend to have worse acuity, and some breeds are naturally sharper than others. But there's another blind spot we haven't talked about yet, and every animal with eyes has it. It's called the optic disc, and it's where the optic nerve connects the eye to the brain. At this connection point, there are no rods or cones, which means there's a small blind spot in every eye. Humans have this too, but your brain just fills it in automatically so you never notice it. And horses have the exact same thing. But here's where it gets interesting. When you combine the optic disc blind spot with the physical blind spot directly in front of their face, you get a zone about 4 feet in front of them where vision is seriously compromised. This is why horses often turn their head slightly to the side when approaching a jump. They're trying to get it out of the blind spot and into their better peripheral vision. Watch any show jumping competition and you'll see this constantly. It's not a quirk, it's necessity. Now let's talk about depth perception, because this is where things get really critical for riders. Depth perception comes from binocular vision. That's when both eyes see the same object from slightly different angles. Your brain compares these two images and calculates distance. It's like natural 3D vision. Horses have binocular vision in only about 60 to 65 degrees directly in front of them. Humans? We have 120 degrees. That's double. And here's the measurement that'll blow your mind. Research by Dr. Brian Timney found that at a distance of 16.5 feet, humans can detect depth differences as small as 1/8 of an inch. Horses need about 9 inches to detect the same difference. That's 72 times worse than us. So when your horse refuses to step over a shadow, into a puddle, or across a painted line on the ground, they're not being stubborn or stupid. They literally cannot tell if it's flat ground or a cliff. Water crossings are especially terrifying for them because the surface reflects light, making it impossible to judge depth. This is why they paw at water. They're trying to gather information their eyes can't give them. Same thing with trailer loading. That dark interior, they can't tell if the floor is 6 inches down or 6 feet down. This is why lighting the inside of your trailer makes such a huge difference. But horses do have a superpower that we don't, and it's all thanks to those extra rod cells we talked about. Remember, rods are specialized for detecting motion. Studies show horses can detect head movements as small as 0.20 millimeters. That's about the width of 2 human hairs. This is why your horse knows you're nervous before you consciously realize it yourself. That tiny tension in your shoulders, that slight tightening of your hands, that microscopic shift in your seat, they see all of it. There's a famous case from 1907 called Clever Hans, a horse that everyone thought could do math. His owner would ask him math problems, and Hans would tap out the answer with his hoof. People were convinced he was a genius. Scientists came from all over Europe to study him, until psychologist Oscar Funkst figured out what was really happening. Hans wasn't doing math. He was reading microscopic body language cues from his trainer. Head movements so small that humans in the audience couldn't see them. When Hans reached the correct number of taps, his trainer would unconsciously tilt his head or relax his posture by less than a millimeter. And Hans would stop tapping. This is actually why horses are so effective in therapy programs. They're reading emotional states through body language that we're not even aware we're broadcasting. Now let's talk about color. For decades, people thought horses were completely colorblind. They're not. But they don't see color like we do. Humans have 3 types of cone cells, which means we're trichromatic. We see red, green, and blue. Horses have only 2 types of cones, making them dichromatic. They see blues and yellows really well. But reds and greens? Those look like shades of grey, brown, or yellow to them. So that bright red safety vest you're wearing to be visible on the trail? To your horse, it blends right into the green grass. Both look brownish grey. If you want to be seen by your horse, wear blue or yellow. This is actually causing a revolution in racecourse design. After a 2018 study showed horses could see certain jump colours better, courses started redesigning. They're replacing red and green jumps with blue and yellow ones. And the results? Fewer refusals, fewer falls, safer racing. You can apply this same principle to your own jumps and ground poles. Paint them blue or yellow, and watch your horse's confidence improve. Here's something that'll completely change how you handle your horse. Light adaptation. When you walk from bright sunlight into a dark barn, your pupils dilate to let in more light, right? For humans, this takes about 5 to 10 minutes to fully adapt. For horses, it can take 45 minutes or more to fully adapt from bright light to complete darkness. That's almost 5 times longer than us. And here's why: that weird horizontal pupil shape. This isn't just for looks, it serves a specific evolutionary purpose. The horizontal shape means the top of their visual field, where they're looking at the ground, is adapted for darker conditions. And the bottom of their visual field, where the sky is when they're grazing, is adapted for brighter conditions. When they lift their head, it flips. Now the bright sky is in the top of their vision, and the darker ground is in the bottom. Horses also have something called a tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer behind the retina. This is what makes their eyes glow in the dark when light hits them. It reflects light back through the retina, giving the photoreceptors a second chance to capture it. This makes horses much better at seeing in low light than we are. But here's the problem: transitions. When you're riding and your horse suddenly spooks at nothing as you enter a shaded area under trees. They're temporarily blind. They literally can't see what's in front of them for several seconds. Same thing with trailer loading in bright sunlight. That dark interior looks like a black void to them. The solution? Give them time. Let them stand at the entrance for 30 seconds. Let their eyes adjust. You'll be amazed at how much easier it becomes. Here's something that freaks people out when they first learn it. Horses can move each eye independently. One eye can be looking forward while the other is looking backward. This is because most of their vision is monocular. Each eye is seeing a completely different scene. Your left eye might be watching the trail ahead, while your right eye is monitoring a dog in the bushes behind you. For a prey animal, this is a massive survival advantage. You can eat while still watching for predators in all directions. But it also means their brain is processing two completely different visual streams simultaneously. And this is mentally exhausting. This is why horses get so tired in busy environments like horse shows. Their brain is working overtime processing visual information from all directions. Give them visual breaks. Let them stand quietly in a calm area. It's not laziness, it's necessary mental recovery. Alright, so how do you actually use all this information? Here are 7 practical tips that'll immediately improve your horsemanship. 1. Never approach from directly behind. They can't see you and you're in the kick zone. Come in at an angle where they can see you, aim for the shoulder area. 2. When giving treats, don't hold them directly in front of their nose. That's the blind spot. Hold them to the side of their muzzle where they can actually see them. 3. Slow down or stop when moving between light and dark areas. Give them 30 to 60 seconds to adjust. You'll feel them relax as their vision catches up. 4. Paint your jumps, ground poles, and safety equipment blue or yellow. They'll see it clearly and gain confidence. 5. Add lighting to your trailer interior. LED strips or battery-powered lights make a huge difference. Your horse will load so much easier when they can actually see where they're going. 6. When your horse spooks or refuses, remember, they're not being difficult. They're responding to visual limitations you don't have. Patience and understanding will get you further than force ever will. And 7. Allow your horse to turn their head slightly before jumps or obstacles. They're trying to get it out of the blind spot and into clearer vision. Don't fight this. It's how they see. So yes, your horse can see things you can't. That movement in the distance, that tiny shift in your body language, that predator in the shadows. They have nearly 360-degree vision and can detect motion you'd never notice. But they also can't see things you take for granted. Depth, certain colors, and sometimes what's right in front of their face. Understanding how they see isn't just interesting trivia, it's the foundation of real partnership. Because the better you understand their brain, the better partner you can be. Now you understand how horses see. On this channel, we will shortly also learn how horses hear and learn, so make sure to follow us. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you in the next one.